Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Well, hello and welcome into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host tonight, Cassidy Wood. Another drop for the Pirates today in Kansas City. Unfortunately, that 3-game shutout in Seattle, go down to KC facing the Royals, and another loss. I mean, the Pirates went 30 innings without scoring a run. Thankfully, they snapped that skid tonight with Tommy Pham. You know, I'm joined alongside Suzie Cool, by the way. The dynamic duo, we're back at it again. It's been a while, but here we are. But yeah, I mean, Suze, so Tommy Pham, I want to talk about him a little bit. You know, he was so great during that homestand. He finally feels like we were seeing the Tommy Pham that we all wanted to see, kind of what the expectation was with him. And for like a 9-game stretch there, he had 8 RBIs out of those last 9 games. 5 of those were multi-RBI games, and it was just really exciting to see him hit like that. And then obviously that 3-game shutout in Seattle, just so difficult, but to see him, you know, get the 2 RBI today was awesome. It was a 2-run homer today. It was awesome. And yeah, it's great to see him finally riding that ship. He mentioned it was his vision and fixing, you know, some of his eyesight there. And so it's great to see him do well.
Yeah, it's always great to see anybody do well, right? And it's great to get the Pirates out of that rut here today. However, I think that this just goes to show it's almost been the Achilles heel all season long. And I know that you and I have talked about it, the inconsistency that we're seeing in this lineup. Yes, Tommy Pham is doing well.
Still don't understand that because he's been pushing 100 or right around 100 this entire season. So to lessen his load yesterday makes no sense because you know you're just going to heighten it again in the next coming weeks. And hey, that's how guys do get injured. If you know, pull them back so hard and then push them further in such a short time period, in such a short span, that's how guys get injured. So not saying, obviously, I don't want to wish that on anybody in this ball club, but it was just very interesting how that all happened yesterday. But maybe Donnie Kelly just saw, hey, look, Skenes is doing what he can out there on the mound, and he's just not getting the run support. Why are we going to waste his energy out there when it's going to ultimately end up in another loss?
Yeah, I mean, pulling Paul yesterday, but again, it comes with that run production. It comes with the hits from this team. Paul isn't the issue. The pitching really hasn't been the issue today. Maybe not Heaney's best day out on the mound, right? Or anybody in the bullpen other than Bednar. However, that hasn't been the issue. It's been the hitting on this team. Winning a game with just 4 hits whenever your opponent is hitting 12 hits a game, you're not going to win that game. How do you even think you're going to win that game? So again, somebody in this lineup other than Tommy Pham, it has to be a couple of different people in this lineup that start producing. It can't just come from one person because that person's eventually going to have a slow bat at some point and then they're going to have to heat up again. You can't just depend on one person.
Yeah, it needs to be a collective effort, that's for sure. I mean, some positive news, though, for Paul Skenes. He was named to the NL All-Star list yet again, the roster. And, you know, last year he was the starting pitcher, and this year he's named to it again. Not even 2 full seasons in the major leagues, and he's in the All-Star game twice. It just speaks to what a generational talent we have here in Pittsburgh, and we've said it time and time again, and I know it sounds like a broken record, but it's just so true. It feels like it's almost being wasted here in Pittsburgh a little bit because he does have the pitching here in Pittsburgh. The pitching staff is so incredible, and they just don't have the bats to back it. And it's unfortunate that even Mitch Keller too. It's unfortunate we're seeing these losses. I mean, Mitch, I think, is 1-10 right now. That's crazy. And, you know, it's just so unfortunate that it feels like some of this pitching is going to waste a little bit.
But it also shows how good Paul Skenes truly is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you are 4-7 on the season in your 19 or 20 starts, whatever it is, and you have a 1.94 ERA, and you're still getting an NL All-Star nod in your second season. So again, this has nothing to do with Paul this season that the Pirates are having. It's all about the bats, it's about the defense, and they need to figure that out because, like you said, it's not fair to people like Paul or Mitch Keller when they're doing their job.
Agree with you there. All right, guys, we're going to head to our first break. Give us a call, though, 412-575-2600. We want to hear from you guys. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night. Gavin McKenna, the top prospect in hockey and projected generational NHL talent, has chosen to go to Penn State for next season. He is projected to be the #1 pick in the 2026 NHL draft. He had amazing numbers in the WHL last season. And yeah, he decided to take his talents up to Happy Valley for his final season and draft year next year. He said apparently it came down to Penn State and Michigan State, and he's choosing to go with the Nittany Lions. So I'm sure there's a lot of Penn State fans that are very, very excited about this, especially considering that team made it all the way to the Frozen Four last year and lost. And it was their first Frozen Four, I think, ever in program history. So to have him on the squad now, maybe they can take it even further. And I know a lot of Lions fans are very excited about that. Also wanted to make note, the Pens did have their prospect camp over the past few days, and today was that final scrimmage. Just looked like so much fun out there. You know, Pens fans getting a chance. It was open to everybody today, open to the public, and they were able to get out there and see some of the young talent that's coming up in this program and what they're doing developmentally to help them. Because, I mean, we have a very odd season this year, Suze, and a very odd future ahead for the Penguins, I think. I mean, so many question marks, especially with this trade deadline coming up. What's going to happen with the three-headed monster? Today, there were reports that Rickard Rakell, you know, there's been a lot of interest in him. And so it'll be very interesting to watch how the rest of this offseason pans out and what's going to happen in this new Dan Muse era, because remember, they just hired Dan Muse. He got a whole new coaching staff in here. Yeah. So this is going to be an entirely different team that no one has ever seen before. And we've had Sully here for so long. So I just think it's going to be a very interesting year for the Pens.
Yeah, no, I think with the new coach, Dan Musen, you don't know what he's going to do, right? You don't know what pieces he's going to want where. The one thing that I feel, I'm going to say like 95% confident in, and I hope like I don't have to double back on this like in a couple of months, is that I do think that the three-headed monster is going to be here to stay. I don't know why I feel so comfortable in that, but I just don't think that that is something that you break up for this city right now, just with what they have done for that team. Now, yes, that hasn't shown in these recent years, but you can't take away those back-to-back years in 2016, 2017 away from them.
Yeah, you can. I mean, there's been rumblings about Malkin and his potential future here. I do think, obviously, I don't think Sid's going anywhere. No. I mean, and Letang, we'll see. I obviously there's health concerns there with him, and we'll see how this season pans out. I do think they have a good guy in here right now in Dan Muse, who's going to be that bridge coach for the veterans and these new guys coming up for sure. But let's get to the phone lines. We have Jimmy in Point Breeze, our #1 Cochrane caller of the night. Jimmy wants to talk some Pirates. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. So my question was about Paul Skenes. So in a couple of years, he's going to be arbitration eligible. And once he goes to arbitration, he's going to be awarded a ton of money. Do you think the Pirates are going to be willing to pay him any of his arbitration money? Or do you think they're going to try and trade him before we even get to that point?
You know, that's a great question. I will say I do think Paul Skenes wants to stay here in Pittsburgh. I'll start with that. I mean, I think he does want to win here. He said that time and time again. So I think if it were up to him, he would want to work something out to be able to stay here. He does love it here. As for the other side of things, I think we've witnessed how they've managed this team for this ball club for the past 6 years, especially under the Ben Cherington era. So, you know, I mean, they nickel and dime everything. I think the bigger question here, before looking down the line so many years ahead at, you know, arbitration and all of that, is in the meantime, I mean, is Ben Cherington even going to be here come next year? And what is next season going to look like? Because I think even just next year is going to be completely different than what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, I don't think the question is that Paul Skenes doesn't want to be here. He said he wants to win a World Series here. That's obviously not going to happen this season. I don't think it's going to happen next season either. That's going to take a couple of years. So are the Pirates, the question is, willing to trade him before that period comes up, right? But then I think you have to look at some of the other players that they have had in this system before that have went on to either win a World Series after they have left us or been World Series contenders, and a lot of them are pitchers. Garrett Cole, Jamison Taillon, Tyler Glasnow, just a couple of names that come to my mind, and I know I say them all the time, but those were, you know, Garrett Cole was a very, very big talent as he was coming up through this organization. He wasn't Paul Skenes' caliber, right? But Paul Skenes is going to be worth more than them, so what is going to say they're going to be any different with him?
Yeah, and I think too, obviously they have to build out the rest of this roster around him and give him some run support, because otherwise it might get nasty here soon, and his mindset might change.
He's not going to want to stay.
Yeah, I mean, right now, he's saying all these amazing things about the city. Right now he wants to be here, but I mean, if this continues and they go another 30 innings without scoring a run, I mean, at some point, these guys who have a lot of talent and have the ability and hopes to go out and win a World Series, it's really going to weigh on them, and they're not going to be happy here anymore. So hopefully they can figure all of that out. I mean, some big news. Suze, I want to get your opinion on this as well. Connor Griffin passing Bubba Chandler today, according to Baseball America, in the prospect rankings for the Pirates. I mean, at what point, Bubba Chandler, we've heard all season, you know, maybe he'll come up this season. Maybe he'll get that MLB debut. Maybe we'll see him in the next month or so. I mean, at this point, do you even bring him up? And how do you kind of handle that? I know you've been close in the minor leagues and you've witnessed these guys work day in and day out. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on the Connor Griffin situation. Do you bring him up, or do you keep him down for right now?
Yeah, I mean, you and I have talked about it a little bit before, right? At the beginning of the season, it's like, hey, you have nothing to lose. You have the rest of the season to play out. Maybe you bring up some of these prospects because they truly will help your team. However, we're at the All-Star break now. What are these prospects really going to do for this team if they come up here now? Yes, that's great. Get their major league debut, maybe get, you know, whatever it is, the experience that they need. However, I think that I would keep them developing in the minors and then see what pans out, shakes out next season. I wouldn't waste any of their time, any of their innings up here this season.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. I mean, there's just not really high hopes for where this season is headed. I mean, you know, during that 6-game win streak, I think everyone got a little excited and they were like, oh, wait, maybe we could be a playoff contending team. And then very quickly the rug was ripped from under everybody. So, you know, yeah, we'll see how the rest of the season pans out. But as of right now, it's just not looking good once again. But hey, Paul Skenes is an all-star once again.
Yes.
So that's exciting. All right, guys, we're going to head to our last break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're going to check in now with the news desk and see what they have coming up at 11. Hey, Ken.
Hey, Cass, 2 deadly shootings on the same street in Penn Hills within 24 hours. Plus, how many calls Pittsburgh Fireworks Task Force responded to, and Ray Petland tracking more wet weather for the rest of the week, all coming up right here at 11.
Didn't want to hear that, but thanks, Ken. So over this crazy weather. It's so hot and humid outside, and today we got like that rain out of nowhere. It's like, what is going on? But I did want to debate something fun before we head out tonight because, hey, we're coming off 4th of July weekend, you know, and you can't talk sports around the 4th of July without the one and only Joey Chestnut, of course. And I mean, Suze, he couldn't compete in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest last year because of his deal with Impossible, excuse me. But he was back this year with vengeance. He ate 70 and a half hot dogs in 10 minutes, which is insane. I can't watch the video. It makes me sick.
Nope.
But it sparked a debate across the internet and across a lot of media outlets. He is the best to ever eat. Usain Bolt, the best to ever run. Who could finish, let's say 3, we'll give Usain 3. Who could guzzle 3 glizzies and then run 100 meters faster, Joey Chestnut or Usain Bolt?
So this is my question. How fast is Joey Chestnut eating 3 hot dogs?
Well, I would say maybe 20 seconds, maybe less than that.
Okay.
Are you doing the math right now?
Yeah, because because if that's the case, honestly, Joey Chestnut might win this because Usain Bolt can run the 100-meter in 9.58 seconds. That is his record.
Yes.
Okay, but I don't think that he can eat a hot dog that fast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I do agree with that.
That's the only thing. I think that that's going to trip up Usain Bolt. Now.
Yeah, I think it also depends, like, how many you're giving them and how much time. Like, if they have to do it in a certain amount of time, I mean.
Are you eating the hot dogs and then immediately running the 100 meters after?
That's the other thing. And if they, unfortunately, if they throw up or something like that while they do it, is that a disqualification? Like, there's so many questions going into this, but I really do. I think Joey Chestnut could win it. I mean, I'm going to be honest.
So
even if it was just 3 hot dogs,
I was going to say, if it's 3 hot dogs, he's going to win this by a landslide. Now, my thing is, you almost have to make it more difficult for Joey, okay? And you have to make it like 250 meters or something, or 500 meters. I don't know. You have to up the ante on one of the ends there, because Usain Bolt, there's no way he's eating 3 hot dogs in 20 seconds.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. But it was so much fun on the internet this weekend after that. People just, hey, it's the great debate, right? You got to debate the greats sometimes. I saw actually a stat as I was walking in here, and I was reading it to you guys. Scotty Scheffler would have to stay in first place as a golfer through 2035, and then an extra 10 weeks after that to tie Tiger Woods for how long Tiger was at number 1. And it's just, it sparks all these great debates. And I just think you have Tiger Woods in golf, you have Joey Chestnut eating, and Usain Bolt running, and maybe Michael Phelps we could throw in there too. But I think that's kind of the best of the best at what they do.
The epitome of the best athletes in the entire world.
Yeah,
we need to think of an all-encompassing contest for them to participate in.
I mean, hey, I'd watch it. Like, it'll be Olympics, but, we'll call it something different, something like that. But guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Suze, thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Same place, same time.